Campeón, the king, Pelé the king. Well, you played on the street. You're always Pelé.
You can hear the emotion in that man's voice, the feelings of just one soccer fan in Anaheim, California. But no doubt many people all across the world right now sharing in that grief this morning because one of the biggest sports stars the world has ever seen passed away yesterday. The Brazilian-born soccer legend known by the single name Pelé lost his battle with colon cancer at the age of 82. Since his death, as you can imagine, tributes are now pouring in from around the world, from Presidents Biden and Obama to some of the current soccer greats still on the field like Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Bruce Murray is a former U.S. men's national team member. He's here to reflect on really an extraordinary life. Listen, we all know in this country, you know, we have our Mount Rushmore of athletes, whether you're talking about Larry Bird or Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods or Muhammad Ali, pick one. We know it's a list. Pelé was different because he helped popularize the sport that, let's face it, is not as popular in America as it is in other parts of the world. He worked tirelessly and successfully to change that, and he was a global force. Talk about his impact on the sport and why so many are taking it personally when the news broke yesterday.
Hi. Good morning, and thanks for having me. Pelé was the GOAT. I mean, it's hands down. I mean, the greatest soccer player. But think about sportsmen in general and people that transcend sports. I mean, Pelé, Muhammad Ali, Joe Namath. That's the crowd you're talking about. And Pelé, you could bang on a door anywhere on any street in the United States of America, and the person would answer and say, well, do you know Pelé? Have you heard of Pelé? And they'd say, absolutely, heard of Pelé. So this is a man who transcended sports and is one of the greatest names. And it's extremely sad for all of us who grew up wanting to be Pelé. Every street game you played, you wanted to be Pelé. You wanted to be Brazil, and Pelé was the GOAT. And I think you'll see that now with Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi and all the people that came before them speaking about Pelé.
And so when I played soccer as a kid, as many of my friends did in the neighborhood, and there was one guy, Mike, who was really, really good. Actually, I went to college on the college scholarship, and his nickname, we always called him, was Pelé. For years, because he was that good. And even though we were kids in New Jersey, we knew who this Brazilian soccer star was. And it's ironic that his death comes just days after the world was riveted by a remarkable World Cup tournament full of surprises and that great match, the championship match at the end. So his death comes at a time when when a global spotlight was back on soccer. So the timing of this is fascinating. Let me read to you this way. The New York Times reported it this way. He helped create and promote what he called the beautiful game, a style that valued clever ball control, inventive pinpoint passing, and a voracious appetite for attacking. Pelé not only played it better than anyone, he also championed it around the world. Specifically with what he did on the field with that ball, what made him stand out? Because like a Messi or Ronaldo, he was riveting just to watch.
The stuff that Pelé did with a ball was unbelievable. And if you take side-by-side film of Messi and Ronaldo, you see the same stuff. I mean, these are iconic players. But Pelé did it with power. And I think that's the difference. Pelé, his power, bicycle kicks, vertical leap, the goal in 1970 to win the World Cup for Brazil, the header, the big leaping header, just an unbelievable athlete. But the other thing you got to remember is the people that he's playing against are grown men that are paid a lot of money to stop him. And so that's the amazing part about the players like Pelé and Messi that even I, as a former World Cup player, I cannot believe. I mean, I know what the level is as a high level player, or been at a World Cup level, and I see what they do to these defenders, and it just blows my mind.
It is stunning. 21-year career in soccer, almost 1,300 goals, and I believe the only soccer player who ever won 3 World Cup championships. You see some of the incredible stats there on your screen there. And on top of just being an extraordinary athlete, it was also a very people love the backstory. Came from poverty, grew up to be incredibly successful, and then became not only on top of his kind of jovial, sunny personality, someone he felt good talking to, he became an ambassador for the sport around the world. He considered that one of his goals not just to excel on the field, but to try to make the world love soccer the way he did. Do you think he achieved that, or at least laid a foundation for that to be done?
Oh, absolutely. When Pelé came to the United States, he said he wanted to come here and make soccer a big deal here in the United States. It was a project, and he came here, and I don't know if you remember, but Pelé used to fill giant stadiums, 7,000 people. People coming from all over the East Coast to go watch kind of barnstorming games where the Cosmos would play AC Milan or independent, big teams from around the world. And so he really did. And he got that people into the stadium, and those people had children. And now everybody, you walk down the street, everyone's played soccer. Everyone knows somebody who's played in college. Everyone knows who, they all have the same, we have a conversation, is Gio Reyna better than Tyler Adams? And, especially when the World Cup comes around. So now all of a sudden, we have a country that has soccer knowledge. The ratings are starting to bear with the Premier League coverage here in the United States. So it's pretty cool. But do you have 30 seconds? I can tell you a quick story about Pelé.
Sure. Is this about the commercial by any chance? The MasterCard commercial?
Yes.
Okay, let me set you up here because we're going to show a clip of that, because you've interacted with him before and during a commercial that you guys were filming. Let's run the clip.
The game's first foul. Bruce Murray brings down 9-year-old Robert Morales in the penalty area. Pelé is quickly onto the field and has no doubt.
Little blast from the past. Walk us through that moment.
Played Brazil the night before, and we're filming a MasterCard commercial before World Cup '94, and the producer's like, I need you to foul a kid for a penalty kick, but the kid was quicker than I thought he was, so he got away from me, and I had to go to the ground, and I really put the boot to him. And Pelé came running on the field. He took it like the acting amazing. He's a natural actor. And he's like, oh, my God, get this guy off the field, give him a red card. And it was fantastic. And so as we went down the receiving line after the commercial, I mean, it's like a president visiting or the Pope to me. It's just an amazing event. And he walks down, and we had just played Brazil the night before. And he looks at me, and he shakes my hand, and he walks past. And then he kind of walks back to me, and he looks at me. He goes, and he has a very big baritone of a voice, and he pronounced. I had probably, this is the way he said. He said, "Murai, you played good game last night against Brazil," and I just could have died right there and gone to heaven, because this is the greatest player of all time telling me. Not everyone thought I played well all the time, but the GOAT told me that, and it made my day and made my life, to be honest with you.
Oh, made my day and made my life. Some words of encouragement from the GOAT. That's a really fantastic story. What a memory that you have of him in that one moment, and you can imagine so many others right now reflecting on games they saw, interactions they may have had. And I would imagine that soccer as a sport, and certainly his native Brazil, will find extraordinary ways to honor him in the days and weeks to come. Just an extraordinary athlete and life. It really is. It's a big deal in the sports world, to put it mildly. Bruce, thanks so much for sharing your story and some time. Happy New Year to you, and wishing you all the best. We will be right back after this break.